The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness. Unauthorized redistribution or editing of the BumbleKast in whole or in part is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Happy Mario Day!
Wahoo!
It's March 10th, so it's Mar 10, Mar IO. This is what we're doing now. This is what we've come down to. We've got May the 4th, and now we've got Mar EO. So here we are.
Welcome to Martin Cart.
Martin Cart. Good old Martin, my favorite Mario character. Martin. Who's Martin? Martin, you know Martin. Anyway,
Charles
hi Ian.
Martinet.
Yeah. There we go. Hi Ian, how you doing?
I'm struggling, Kyle.
Uh-huh. Why's that?
This past weekend, I was walking to the grocery store, to be healthy.
As you do.
And I didn't see that patch of ice. It looked like just wet sidewalk.
No.
But no, it was frozen concrete.
No.
And I tested that out with the back of my head.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
No.
And, got up, said a few choice words about my day. And I'm going, all right, touch my fingertips to my thumb. I can remember names and birth dates and anniversaries. My thoughts are clear. I'm doing okay. Maybe I just, rung my bell. And I get home and I tell Lee and she goes, you're slurring your words. And I go, am I? Because word sentence make hard. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
So it went to the hospital, got myself a CAT scan. Yeah, it turned out I got myself a bumble concussion.
Uh-huh.
But thankfully, nothing broken, no bruising or bleeding. The doctor specifically said, we looked at your brain and we found nothing. Wait, let me rephrase that. And I said, no. That's good. That's good copy. We're keeping that one.
Yeah, we're keeping that one. There you go. Looked at your brain and found nothing. Well, depending on who you ask, there's a lot of people who would agree. Or at least
there's your confirmation.
A few people would agree. So you know what? Yeah, turns out there is nothing there.
But apparently even a minor concussion can take a long time to heal, which I'm finding out the hard way.
Yeah.
So if I sound a little low energy or a little extra rambly, just understand that it's the Dane Bramage.
It's not normal. Clearly.
For me, at least.
Clearly not. The Dane Bramage. The Dane's Leaf Bramage. Anyway.
The brain rot.
The brain rot has truly set in for me. Anyway.
One of us.
Yeah, it's a problem. Anyway.
I will endeavor to do my best to answer all these questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and get started and hope Ian can handle this one from Aiden7479. What has been your exposure to the Transformers franchise? By extension, what is your opinion of it? Who are some of your favorite characters? And what are some things you don't like about it? Excluding the Michael Bay movies, because that's too obvious. Now, the first Michael Bay movie is acceptable, but the follow-ups are not.
No.
Definitely not the second one. The second one is like the worst one by far, but none of them are great.
Optimus Prime throws the two halves of his dearly beloved friend to the ground and says, but we've made new friends with these humans. No, absolutely not.
No.
My exposure is piecemeal and limited. Like, I know I watched it as a kid, but most of my memory is of the VHS tape we had that had the Dinobots debut episode. And we watched that thing. I'm pretty sure I could quote it verbatim now. Like, I watched it religiously. I watched it with my brother religiously. And we probably would still be watching it if VCRs didn't go out of vogue. We had some of the toys. I remember wanting to watch Beast Wars, but I could never find it. Like, I don't know if it had a weird schedule or if it just didn't work with my life. And beyond that, I don't know a ton of it. I've heard Transformers 1 is fantastic.
Yeah.
And when we did the My Little Pony Transformers crossover, I was relieved that it was at least G1, because that I had a glancing understanding of. It's like, okay, I can look at the wiki, I can, follow along for the most part. I can play it by ear. This is a fun, fluffy crossover. It doesn't need to be deep lore. I'll be okay. But if it was like a serious Transformers story, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah. It's a fluffy metallic crossover. My favorite. Here's one from Andrew D. Next up for our anti-Mega Man series is, well, Worlds Collide, but we can only talk about half of it. So for this, Anti-Dr. Wily teams up with a kindly veterinarian scientist using the power of magical MacGuffins, and Anti-Mega Man teams up with a speedy green boy. In terms of the Mega Man side of things, how's this go, and how and why does Anti-Light get thrown out of the Anti-Wily flying fortress thing? Or does he jump out to pin the blame on Anti-Wily? Would Anti-Rock even care?
So, to look at this in a broad scope.
Yes.
In the original, it was a dovetail between the heroes and the villains, where the heroes were initially at odds because they were very different types of heroes. But they eventually came together by their shared heroism and their desire to do good, and ultimately being good guys deep down. They found what made the other one tick, why they were such virtuous individuals, and by the end of it, they were a tag team duo that were just amazing. Whereas the villains were initially very much in sync because they were both horrible people driven by egos and eventually split apart because they're bad people driven by egos. So in this scenario, it would be the inverse. You would have our Anti-Rock and his compatriot coming together to sow mayhem. Like, they wreck stuff, and that's great. That's fun. They're really toxically supportive of each other. But by the end of it, they would just cramp each other's style, and they would be looking for an excuse to do the other one in.
Right.
Whereas the scientists would be at odds initially because they're just not simpatico, but by the end they've bonded together against the greater threat, and oh god, we got to get through this somehow. Beyond that, I don't think you could hit it beat for beat the same way. It wouldn't be a simple on-off inversion of 1 and 0 here. I think you'd have to rethink the entire thing. But I think the core inversion of the hero's path and the villain's path would be the key to making it a true anti-version of that story.
Mm-hmm. All right. Question from Aunt Flo. A lot of people have reported to be in, quote, that time of the month, unquote, coinciding with Valentine's Day. Has this happened to either of you?
Well, I'm a cisgender male, so no, I haven't experienced that.
No, I have not either. I am in the same boat, and I have never felt that. Bladed Fox 14 has a question. If you could wish one thing from Calypso from Twisted Metal, what would it be?
I would want to do good.
Nothing. I don't want Calypso's wish, because nothing ever goes well when you get a wish granted from Calypso.
That's the thing. I would like, okay, here's my chance for like the game-breaking, rule-ignoring wish.
No.
I want world peace.
No.
But then it would be like, here's COVID 2.0, or here's nuclear winter, and everyone's dead, and therefore there's no more conflict.
World peace, everyone dies. Yes. That's why
you can't even do like a gotcha one. It's like, okay, Calypso, I want whatever you want. Because then it would just turn out to be bad. It would just somehow.
It would just be him. It would just be him. It would just be his taking control of the world or whatever he wanted. I don't remember. I don't know.
I can't even ask for like a really nice cheeseburger because it would be like undercooked and I'd die of salmonella. Something, I don't know.
I can't, you can't even... I don't want him to even follow me around because eventually he's going to try to get me to say something like, I wish you'd just leave me alone. Something like that would happen. It's like, no.
So I don't know. Maybe I would wish, okay, Calypso, here you go. My wish is that any future wishes you ever grant, including this one, cannot have any negative connotations or repercussions as I would view it right now in my present state of mind.
I think you're still giving yourself a little too much rope to hang yourself with on that one. I think he would just kill you. Yeah. I think he'd be like, no, and then kill you. The present state of mind would change. He'd change your present state of mind.
No. My present state of mind is the one that I made while making the wish. You rule bending son of a.
Or maybe he would just say, nuh-uh.
I mean, I don't know if he can do that. Does he have an escape clause?
I have no idea.
Like, can he reject wishes? I don't know.
Can't remember. Can't remember if he ever did that. He always got out of it though. Somehow he always wiggled his way through. Like, Calypso. Oh man. I don't know. I'm not making the monkey's paw wish. I ain't doing that. Yeah. Butter Noodles has a question. Team 4-star Vegeta lands in the middle of Aether. How does he fare, and what are the rivals' reactions and opinions?
Kind of depends on where in Vegeta's story we're talking. Like, are we talking season 1 where he eats bug people? Because in that case, he's just gonna slaughter the entire planet and hold a year-long barbecue. If we're talking more like season 3, where he's gotten a little more chill, comparatively speaking, he might just make some jokes about being on a furry planet and really not caring. There's nothing there magical MacGuffin-wise for him to exploit, and nobody on Aether is remotely near his power level, even if we're talking season 1. So I don't think he'd be particularly threatened. And everyone else on Aether would be wondering what kind of weird ape he is. I mean, there might be a tail depending on what we're talking about, but maybe not always. What is this thing? What does he want? Why is he wearing funny clothes?
I mean, he is wearing funny clothes. But then again, there's some funny clothes going on amongst the rivals. Some of them.
Yeah, well, not funny to them. It's their world.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe Vegeta gets bored, hears that there's at least one emperor around, and it's like, I'll go conquer a country, I guess. Nothing else to do around here.
Yes.
And just watching Loxodon break himself against the Saiyan. That'd be funny.
All right. KB has a question. Ian and Kyle, what popular work of fiction did you not care for and just couldn't get into because you feel said work insists upon itself?
I'm having a hard time thinking of anything specific.
I went through a little bit of thought on this one. It was not easy though, because I'm like, yeah, usually even if something's like up its own butt, I'm like, you know what, this is stupid, but I kind of like it.
I'm usually an apologist for stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'll go to bat for the 2 Matrix movies, the 2 sequels.
Yeah,
I know they're not good.
They're not
but
good.
I like
no
parts of it.
Yeah. One I came up with was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Why is it
fairly divisive?
It's goofy as all get out, but it takes itself so darn seriously. It's like, what?
Oh, it's narrative trash.
It's garbage. Yes,
no damn sense.
No, it's garbage. But also, there's some entertaining bits. I mean, like the whole Martha thing is like one of the greatest memes in history. It's like, why did you say that name? It's like, what? Hold on, I can't stop laughing. Please, am I supposed to take this seriously? Is this supposed to be funny? Is this supposed to be like a moment of like, oh no, I can't take it seriously.
Plus the cut concept of it actually being John Jones this entire time.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that it was Martha Wayne didn't actually die. She just went undercover as Martha Kent. as some kind of like witness protection thing.
What the?
So you have Martha Manhunter as both moms, and it's like, no, on every single conceivable level.
That's awful. Holy crap. That's even worse. Wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm going to say anything written by Ayn Rand. I haven't read most of it, but it's all garbage.
Attracts a certain crowd.
Yes, it's all trash. No, just no. All the way down, no. No Ayn Rand stuff. Just no. I like some of their songs, but like U2 is a bit up its own butt. I was trying to think musically, like, you know, it's like U2 takes itself a little too seriously sometimes, especially Bono, but not to say Bono doesn't actually, like, you know, do good work as well, just in terms of his normal life, but also is a little bit, yeah. That whole iTunes thing. It's like, oh no. And then Avatar, not The Last Airbender, just, you know, James Cameron's Avatar. You really think, James Cameron, you really think you're being profound with this, aren't you? It's like, you're not.
No, I mean, in terms of...
It's pretty, like, but...
Yeah, and what they were able to accomplish, the technologies they invented to produce the visuals that he wanted is nice, but Dancing with Wolves with giant blue cat Smurf people is... we've been there, done that.
Yeah, and Dances with Wolves was kind of up its own butt, too. Anyway.
I saw the first film, was like, that's neat.
That's all right.
No inclination to dive into the lore of the sequel film or the cinematic universe that they seem dead set on making.
Why? I don't understand.
Some people like it. And, you know, just to be clear here, if we're going down this list and you're like, wait, I like those things, good for you. You know, no judgment there. It's just...
I mean, I've talked about these things. It's like there's certain aspects of them I've enjoyed. It's not like I hate any of these except for Ayn Rand, but... But the other Avatar is better. Let's not beat around the bush. Well, okay, maybe not the live action movie, but the other Avatar is better. We don't talk about that live action movie. That didn't happen. What are you talking about? Yeah, I hate Avatar mostly because they killed off Michelle Rodriguez's character, and like any franchise that kills off Michelle Rodriguez gets a no from me, dog. No. And here's one from Comic the Hedgehog. In honor of Women's History Month, can you both name some women, real or fictional, who have inspired or helped you in some way?
Well, I gotta mention my mama.
Yeah.
She raised me right.
Same. My grandma, my mom, my just all the women in my family in general. They're great people.
Remember two of my grade school teachers, Mrs. Dahl and Ms. Lackman, who did a lot to help me as a little kid kind of find my voice and my confidence and grow up a bit on this field. They were all very influential, all very good educators who just, Mrs. Hovis. Yeah, they all helped me kind of find my way into being me very early on.
Yeah, I had a teacher, my teacher in third grade especially, but I mean, most of my teachers were in grade school were awesome. It's like my third grade teacher, Mrs. Guernsey, she was like very influential and really helped me to do things that I hadn't like done before and things like that. She's a very supportive person just in general. She was a great teacher. In high school, my the teacher who ran the newspaper for the school, Miss Brendel, she was also very supportive and just a great person. So definitely those two for sure.
Also, Senora Lalinde, my Spanish teacher for many, many, many years. And I am ashamed. I cannot remember the professor's name. She was at the head of the English department. I took her etymology course, and just the amount she turned me on to the history of language, the very DNA of it. Like that, I wish I could take that course again. That was fascinating. She was a fantastic instructor.
Mm-hmm. I had a great teacher in college, she was a musician, but the class I was taking was audio engineering, and she was great. I really liked her teaching style, and the way just talking to her was also super fun. She's a professional accordion player, and so that was a lot of fun. And as far as like other women who I don't have a personal attachment to, but also, or a personal connection with, personal relationship with, but have inspired me. There's a few female racing drivers who have been like amazing. They really are like insanely good at what they do, and are just seem like really cool people. Sabine Schmitz was a big influence on me. Sadly, she passed away, but she was like the fastest woman around the Nürburgring. And she was like an insanely talented race car driver. Abby Eaton, who is a British touring car driver, she has like dominated that series for a little while. Is an amazing driver. And then Joanna Long, or as she's now known, Joanna Robbins. It's like she went into a man's world and absolutely killed him, just destroyed it, and it was great. So those three definitely are like, heck yeah. love those ladies. Next question is from Conga. Have you seen Holes? And if you have, what do you think about it?
I have not.
I've seen a lot of holes in the ground, especially.
That's the B movie about the giant killer earthworms or something?
No, that's Tremors.
Oh.
No, Holes is, I think, Shia LaBeouf's breakout hit, and also a book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different.
Really,
I'm not entirely. Yeah, that's all I know about it. I don't know. Yeah, you're thinking of Tremors. Tremors is different. Tremors is great, but yeah, I've not seen Holes or read it, and clearly Ian has not even heard of it. So. I think the brain damage is set in.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a quick break and come back with more on the BumbleKast.
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Straubs. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can get that right.
No, we can get that.
Okay,
We can get that.
We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
You know, just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee The Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast.
Ciao!
DDR Master M has a question. Time to send the legendary master of Psycheo, Dan Hibiki, on an isekai, and you get to choose the universe for it. What happens?
Spoiled for choice.
Dan could literally go anywhere, and he would be amazing.
I mean, let's send him to my favorite piece of literature ever, Holes.
Clearly.
And he falls down one forever, because that's what the book's about, right?
That's exactly what it's about. Yes.
I don't know. It's just an excuse for having to punch Shia LaBeouf, you know? I think we can all agree that that's a great time for us all.
Yes. I think that, sure, we'll do that. Sounds like a plan to me. I guess. Speaking of head trauma. Oh boy. Here's one from Double L. The longest text adventure of your lives continues. Ian, you choose to check bed. The bed is a single-sized mattress covered in a single white fitted sheet. There's a pillow on the top. The frame of the bed is thick metal. There's enough space below to hide something. Kyle, before you can check window, your body moves on its own. You are checking the bed. Once your body follows your earlier command, and you move to check window. The window is large and looks out onto a dimly lit white hallway. There's a person in a nurse's outfit on the other side. They do not notice you as they concentrate on their clipboard. Ian, as soon as you have checked the bed, your body moves on its own to the window to check it. What are your next actions?
Okay, we have to be careful because they're taking everything into account here. So
we're still not sure. We still haven't established if we're in the same room or not.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Are we? We don't know that. We have not established that. We probably should establish
that's
that.
What we should do first.
Yes.
I will look for Kyle.
I will look for Ian. Find out if there's anyone else in this room.
And then we'll go beyond that. Then we'll decide what's happening.
Yeah. I look forward to our next part of this journey, Double L.
I mean, I'm going to preemptively say, okay, let's just assume we're in the same room because I don't want to waste a turn just verifying we're there.
Okay.
And we got 2 actions in this one, so maybe we'll speed things up by doing this.
Okay.
Where do you want to check? Because we can check the bed, or under it at least, and there's the window with the nurse and the clipboard. So,
well, I got the clipboard lady. It's like I see her apparently, so I want to read the clipboard. If I can, I want to try to see if I can see it.
Okay, then I will check under the bed, or check the space under the bed.
Okay, let's move on to this next one here from Dove. Dragons are a common staple of fiction. They've been adapted into so many shapes, styles, types, and even variants of other creatures. So I ask this, what are some of your favorite dragons or draconic characters? Do you prefer Eastern or Western style dragons or something else entirely?
No, I'm open to dragons of just about every shape and size.
I'm down for dragons. I imagine dragons all the time.
Even radioactive ones. I forget what it was. I think it was an animated adaptation of a book, but in the course of the story, the elder dragon is explaining to the younger one how they breathe fire, and just talking about how the internals are kind of a honeycomb that holds gases, and that they have a kind of ignition switch between their tongue and the roof of their mouths, which causes the spark, which allows them to breathe fire, and they're able to fly because they have these buoyant gases. But if they blow too much fire, they can't fly anymore because they've lost the ballast. I just thought it was all neat overall. That's just neat dragon physiology.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I would say was very influential was it Rankin and Bass who did the Hobbit animated movie?
Yes.
Okay. That rendition of Smaug, and I much prefer they pronounce it Smog, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's a dragon, but why does he have a monkey cat face? Why did the dragon have the monkey cat face? Are dragons allowed to have monkey cat face? And that kind of just blew my little mind at the time. Is that you don't have to have lizard all the time. It's a fantasy creature. It can be kind of chimera-esque, and it just made it different and kind of fun. And I would almost argue had more character than the Benedict Cumberbatch version.
Yeah. I gotta give a shout out to my favorite dragon, Spyro.
There you go.
That little purple guy, he's great. I love him.
Very iconic dragon.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, in honor of Women's History Month, I gotta give a shout out to Maleficent. She's great.
Yep.
She's super evil. I truly support women's rights and women's wrongs. I'm here for it. I'm ready.
Lots of very solid dragon designs throughout the Fire Emblem series.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
And not gonna toot my own horn too much here, but look out for Drogoon Book 1.
Are you saying there's a reason why it's called a Drogoon?
Maybe, possibly, yes.
All right, Godzilla question. If you could build any X-Men team for a hypothetical X-Men book from Marvel, who would you have on your team? Would you go with the mainstays or bring in some of the lesser-known C&D listers? Who's your favorite mutant who's not in the mainstream?
Spoiled for choice.
I mean, there's been so many X-Men over the years.
Like, I think I've said before, I'd kind of like to get the original 5 back together and explore them as they are now and how much they have changed over the years, and what is their relationship now, what are their interpersonal connections, and go from there. Kind of toyed with the idea of doing a we have X-Men at Home team and explore that aspect. So have like Alex as the lead, have Polaris. I don't know if Ron would really be a good stand-in for Hank, but find some parallels, even if they're super superficial, and play with that. Have these guys who realize they are not the A-listers who have been on the receiving end of some crap without the triumphs half the time, but still why they're able to come together and achieve what they're able to achieve. Have them be the underdogs and win. Beyond that, I would love to just trawl the very dregs of the X canon and find the most obscure, the most what are you doing characters and revitalize them. Find what made them tick, what was neat about them, or what was something that was maybe not fully explored, and give it another go and see what they can do.
My favorite mutant, I don't know, is this one really mainstream? I don't think so. He's probably a little more known than most, though, because he's actually been in like cartoons and movies. Toad. Toad's just such a goofball. I love him. He has a theme song in X-Men Evolution every time he shows up, and it's hilarious.
And he's played by Ray Park, so
yeah,
that's got to count for something.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if he would count as mainstream, but you're right. He's been in a lot of media.
He's been in stuff. He's around. He's somewhat known.
Adjacent?
He's somewhat known, but he's not like, one of the core mutant players, I'd say.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of those who gets like forgotten about.
I mean, my favorite is Gambit, but I will also stand Cyclops.
But Gambit and Cyclops are not. Those are the most mainstream of the mainstream, almost. Come on, man.
Yeah, but they ask who's your favorite mutant?
Who's not in the mainstream?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I missed that.
Yes.
Key component.
Yes.
I hit my head. What do you want?
I can tell. We both did, apparently, because my brain is like shot.
God, hard to pick. Maybe toss up between Jamie Madrox and Strong Guy.
You're pulling out names that I have no idea. I went with Toad because Toad was like the most obscure one I could think of. It's like he's not obscure at all. Meanwhile, you're over here just pulling out names. You're just making up names as far as I can tell.
No.
No, I know. I know there's
Multiple Man.
I'm sure. Oh, okay. I do know Multiple Man. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I really, really liked. Oh shoot! What was it? Was it Straczynski's run on X Factor? Shoot, I can't remember now. But where basically Jamie is the head of a private investigation firm in Mutant Town.
Yeah.
Very big underdog themes throughout the entire book, and just really, really dug that interpretation of him and his powers. And I liked Strong Guy a little earlier in his arc, where he was more of a goofball, but it was mostly to cover the fact that he has a lot of damage. And his whole shtick is the more you hit him, the bigger he gets. He's just a meat miracle. And I like that superpower. It's very straightforward. He's kind of dumb looking, and I love it.
Nice.
He's just a big, beefy goofball who can break things because you can't break him.
Perfect. Any team I make has got to have X-23, Rogue, Polaris, and Jubilee on it. Like that. Those are the four I need to have for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else I can swap out, but I mean, although I feel like Gambit would have to be a number 5 on there. I don't know. And also the Dazzler. There's so many great X-Men. Like Dazzler would be awesome. Cloak and Dagger. Come on. There's so many. There's too many. Too many. I put Kitty on there. Come on. I don't know. I feel like it's too obvious for some of these. Are Cloak and Dagger technically mutants? I think they are.
I thought they were mystical based, but I don't know them very well, so I could be very wrong.
I know they've been X-Men before, at least. Whether they're
okay.
Whether they're mutants or not, I don't know. I don't think they might not actually be. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it could be that they got mutantfied later. Who knows? It's very confusing.
Maybe they're a Wanda Pietro thing. You're mutants. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. No, you're Inhumans. No, you're not.
Don't worry about it too much.
How do we make you marketable?
Miss Marvel is not a mutant. She's thought she was Inhuman, but now she's a mutant because Inhumans, I don't know.
Whatever.
Who knows at this rate? I do know. We have this question here from Gideon W. You wake up 400 years in the future due to two literature professors having a disagreement. To solve it, one wants you to not only score a perfect score in a historic literary analysis course on your works, up to what you currently can talk about, and hide your identity, so no correcting the professor. What are you excited for or dread most about seeing how your creations are viewed from 4 centuries into the future? This is admittedly inspired by a Heinlein story about Shakespeare.
Oh, I dread the entire thing because folks can't get it right now. 400 years later, that game of telephone is going to render everything moot.
Yeah. Shakespeare would probably be horrified when he came into the future and saw how his stories were being interpreted now. That sounds scary.
I mean, fascinating to a degree to see how cultures shift over time and how that retroactive lens affects work from a very personal standpoint, but I would more than likely fail that test.
Yeah.
He clearly meant this. No, the curtains were blue because the curtains were blue. Ducks are not a symbol.
It's true. Hero Squad has a question. Wario and Waluigi in Titanic. How go?
Well, first off, you have an a cappella version of that theme. Near, far, wherever you are, with Waluigi providing the backing vocals. They're the reason why they crash in the first place. Like, they're on the bridge. Hey, look, it's an iceberg. I bet you can't hit it. Bet I can.
Oh, no.
And then the rest of it is just a heist thing where they're robbing the boat as it sinks.
Uh-huh. Wario, draw me like one of your French girls.
No, absolutely not. Dang it, they start up the scene and it becomes a WarioWare game where you have to sketch as fast as you can. Final bit is them fighting over who gets the door.
Oh no. Why would they be Jack and Rose? Why would they be Jack and Rose in this scenario? Because it would be the funniest, that's why, but also like I'm a horrible person. You're welcome. Okay, we got one last question from Johnny Gyro. In the Mega Man series, X is regarded as the first robot with free will, but that confuses me on why he's sapient, but not the classic cast. Is it the 3 laws of robotics? And if so, what would happen if the laws were removed from rock and roll and etc.?
Short answer, there is no good answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone at Capcom was really thinking that through when they made the distinction. And there are a lot of points where you can point in the classic and go, this doesn't seem any less than X or them. What's the deal? And that was tough to grapple with when approaching Mega Man for Archie with the expectation that we would get to X eventually. And the thing that I settled on was that the Rock, Roll, and the Robot Masters were all extremely intelligent AI, but they were not independently intelligent. That they were driven by their design and by their code, and that they couldn't deviate from that. That Rock was able to do so much because his programming was help people, and that could be very interpretive, and he could expand on that. Whereas the Robot Masters were built with a function, and while they might have other quirks to them, they couldn't really deviate from that. There is, of course, numerous examples of why that doesn't make sense. I mean, Sheepman particularly, I think, gives up one job to go for another because he got bored. How do you do that if you're not sapient?
Yeah, I don't understand it. They really just didn't think about this.
No, and Blues goes off on his own, just willy-nilly. But you could almost say, well, he's the proto-man. He's the precursor to what Light will eventually perfect with X. I don't know. I think it ultimately comes down to the Reploids, who are not even like X. They're Reploids. They're cheap knockoffs because Kane couldn't replicate what Light did with X.
Yeah.
But still, they are fully independent in their thought processes and functions, whereas the robot masters are driven by a code.
Mm-mm.
That's the best I could really come up with. It's not airtight, but it's not my job to fix it. It's their stuff. They do it.
They messed it up. It's their problem to fix, not yours.
And that's going to wrap us up for this edition of the BumbleKast. Thank you so much for all your questions from our patrons that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. I know I said patrons a lot. Shut up. I've got a concussion.
Thank you, patrons, for all your patronage.
Yeah, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I'm going to go lie down for a little bit, and we will see you next time on the Bumble Concussion. BumbleKast! BumbleKast!
BumbleKast. Happy Mario Day, everybody. Wahoo! Bye-bye. What is wrong with my brain? I think I'm the one who's had the brain damage. I cannot think of anything. I literally just had it. Oh, well. Wario, draw me like one of your French girls.
Hold on.
Good, I'm glad. Why did Ian have to take off right at that moment? Draw me like one of your French girls from the Titanic. Yes! That's what that's from. Yes.
I'm sorry, just lots of crashing in the hallway, and it's like, is that a problem?
Okay. I thought maybe you were crashing or something.
No.
Okay.
You
You thought it was just a saying, Nova? Yeah, it is. From that movie.
Pick up in 3, 2, 1.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, do not start right now, lungs.
Please don't. We don't need your lungs to join
that's
in.
the thing. Is, well, no, I think it's related.
Are they?
To everything. Yeah, apparently, if you ring your bell hard enough, it can actually make you forget how to do it properly. I don't think I'm that bad, but I don't know. Well,
Sounds weird. Yeah, don't do. If you die, Ian Flynn, I'm gonna kill you.
I can't die. I got too much to do.
I know. You must live out of spite.
I do not want to give some people that satisfaction.
No. We can't do that.
What is dead can never die.
Exactly.
All right. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and just get into it while I have the chutzpah to get
Well,
on.
yeah, while you're here.